So if your Pinterest page is dropping, here's 3 things you can do to stop the hemorrhage or to stop the bleeding right now, today. People. Okay, number 1. So there should be app on that, unlike other social media. Hi, it's Jake Cat. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I invite you to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you like what you see on this channel today. So you may be here because you saw the thumbnail, you did a Google search or YouTube search on tips and tricks for helping save your failing Pinterest channel or your Pinterest website, your Pinterest page, because the numbers have been dropping. You don't know what's causing the hemorrhage and you want to stop the bleeding of the drop. So welcome to this channel. For those of you who are not new, welcome back. And you know, if you're following me already, is that we are on this journey. I am on this journey. I've rebranded this channel to be focusing more on Pinterest marketing. And I am of the mindset that it's a good thing for you who is also using Pinterest for business or for personal, or because you're a VA or because you're a podcaster, vlogger, and you're using Pinterest to drive traffic back to your website, that it's good to learn from someone who was 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, who's learning it as you're going along and they're going along, so we can learn and grow together. So I'm about to reach a big milestone in Pinterest soon, hopefully within the next week or so. And that's a few you might be right behind me. So as I'm learning things and learning new tools and tricks of the trade and how to navigate that platform, I'm happy to share with my audience, which is you. So welcome back. So don't want to belabor the point any more further. Let's just get straight to it. So if your Pinterest page is dropping, here's 3 things you can do to stop the hemorrhage or to stop the bleeding right now, today. The first thing you can do is pivot. And by pivot, I mean pause whatever you're doing now that's not working and learn what is working, what the platform prefers. I said in a video recently when I discovered that my Pinterest page was dropping, and I spoke with someone from Pinterest who said, oh, you need to do fresh pins. I said what I was gonna do is go to my favorite fashion magazines, cooking websites, news sites, and as they come out with new articles, pin images from those articles because I'll know they're fresh. Since then, I've discovered I don't necessarily need to do that, which is very labor intensive and time intensive. I can just take Pinterest, I'm on their email marketing list, and also when I go to the platform, it says, here's what's new, here's what we picked for you. So if they're telling me it's new, if they're sending me an email saying here's the new content, then I know it's fresh. I don't need to actually go to various different sites to discover and pull down images from those sites. So I've been doing that. However, I found that irrespective of doing that, the pins really aren't still getting the same amount of reach that they got before. However, what I did discover does work is I have story pins. Not everyone has it. I realized I was under the impression that everyone had it, but some people have to request access and they're not even giving access to everyone. So I'm sorry for that. However, if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. You can still pin video images and moving images. Like Pinterest, like a lot of other platforms, Snapchat, of course, YouTube, of course, Instagram, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, other different platforms, other social media and search platforms prefer video content. They're pushing that. So Pinterest is as well. So if you have a pin that you've already done, a static pin, convert that into a video pin. And tools like Canva, third-party tools like Canva, for example, and I'm sure PicMonkey and others have templates. So they're like movable templates. You don't even have to create it from scratch. You can take some of the words and it'll automatically animate for you because they know that these platforms prefer moving video content. Separate from that, you can use your own third-party tools. I like using InShot, or you can use some of these other social media platforms that are video platforms, like Snapchat. I created a reel recently. It was a TikTok. I moved it over to from TikTok into Reel, and then I moved it into Pinterest, and that's already a video format. And then thirdly, in addition to that, Pinterest itself, if you have access to Pinterest story pins, which I do, and you may not, but one of the things, the functionalities they added to story pins, the ability to turn a series of images into a video. So for example, when I did a tutorial on how to make a Pinterest pin, story pin on mobile, when I did that in the tutorial, I discovered that the several images that I plan to put into my pin story, they combine them and turn it into a video pin. And so Pinterest itself as a platform is also, because it prefers video, and because they know maybe viewers and audience members prefer video, they too have made it easier for you to convert your images into video. So pivot, whatever you're doing, which is different, do differently, do what you've been doing that's failing, do something differently. And what I suggest you do is do the video pins, or move to pivot to video, or anything else. So learn from, I personally joined several Facebook pages. I did some research. I did some Google research. I did some Pinterest research. I looked around and asked folks to see what is working for other people. So you're here as well to learn to see what other people are doing that's working. So learn from other people. So stop what you're doing, pause, learn to see what's good, what the platform likes, what's working for other people, and do that. So that's the first thing you do. The second thing I recommend you doing if your Pinterest reach is falling is change your focus. So what happened was with me, with a lot of us, at some point, I got like 7.5 million reach in a quarter. That was, at one point I had 4 million. Another point I had 2 million, and then it was just 1 million. And so it'd been dropping a lot. So that's a vanity metric, the reach. And also a reach doesn't say anything. Reach doesn't say you're making money. Reach doesn't say you're reaching people. If reach doesn't say if you're getting people on your email list, that's conversion. All a reach says is those people, they saw it scrolled across their screen. So whether they pause to get a close-up, or they pause to save it, whether they click through and actually sign up for your newsletter, whether they click through and purchase an affiliate product that's on that post, whether they click through and their click through represented an ad sale, or they click through and bought a product or service that you sell on their website, that's what's valuable. You don't know that. All you know is from a reach is that it scrolled across their screen. And so to have 7.5 million is a vanity metric. It really is irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. So I joined Melanie Williamson, Michelle. We joined 2 Pinterest Facebook groups. I don't even remember who they are. I'll put one of here. And one of the hosts of that page says, you don't want to focus on reach anyway, because that's kind of like a throwaway metric. You want to really focus on conversion. I was like, you're so right. So that helped my mindset to stop focusing on the fact that the number was dropping, which was freaking me out. So instead, I'm focusing more on conversions, on doing something else. So one of the benefits of Pinterest is not just traffic reach, which I really do think the fact that they're dropping, lessening the amount of people your pins are going to, for 2 reasons. I think one is because they don't want their platform just full of old recycled content. So they are phasing out that old content. So if your blog post is linked to old content that's just been doing really, really well, if you had popular pins just doing well, they're recycling, you're getting track from it, they're pulling those out. So when they pull those out, your traffic is going to drop because people aren't clicking through, because people aren't seeing those pins anymore. So newsflash, your reach on your actual unique views and unique and return views on your websites and your blogs is also going to go down, especially if Pinterest was your number 1 source of traffic. The other reason why I think they're doing this is because they want people to stay on the platform. If they have ads, if they have advertisers, they want people to stay on the platform. YouTube is like that. YouTube rewards creators that create content that's 10 minutes or longer because they want people to stay on the platform. Instagram, for example, would give users 1 link. The reason why you give you 1 link is because they just want you to keep scrolling. We're going to add story. Look at a story. Okay, we're going to add reels. Look at some reels. Okay, we're going to add IGTV. Look at an IGTV. They don't want you to leave Instagram. They want you to stay on Instagram. So similarly, Pinterest wants you to stay on Pinterest. So in Pinterest story, for example, there's no link. A lot of us are complaining like we need a link. We need to be more dynamic. They experimented with links. I think when they gave it to you, when they did the beta testing in the UK, they had a link, but they probably saw people were leaving, and then people always leave. So they're like, no, we're like a jealous boyfriend. We want you to stay with us all day, all night. So we're not going to let you put a link on it. So now that you know that linking is not an option anymore, what do you do then? You focus on the other benefit of Pinterest, not just traffic generation, but also brand elevation. I always tell my clients, I always tell people who I work with that Pinterest is a good source of reach, but also brand elevation for people to know obscure brands. So whether you are Coca-Cola and Pepsi, or whether you are a startup soda company, you have the same amount of potential on Pinterest because people are discovering new outfits, new clothes, new brands, new makers, new creators on an equal playing field with the big guys on there because it's a search discovery tool. It's a great place to go if you're a newbie to elevate your brand. So use story pins if you have. You try to present your brand as the best view possible. And video is the best way to do that. So do it through video or do it through story pins if you have story pins. And that's the thing. It's like shift your focus away from reach to brand elevation and other benefits and conversions. Like, rather than trying to say, well, I'm losing traffic, it's kind of like the people. When I do get people, maybe I buy ads, and is my pin dynamic enough, or what I'm selling to them, or have I done the research, the keyword research enough to say this is what people want and they need it, and so they will more likely stop, pause, click through, save it, and actually go to my site. So my focus needs to be on generating that type of content to get people to take the next step, not just generate enough for them to scroll through the feed, or for the feed or the algorithm to like it and say, well, we'll let you go through because they're just passing through. You want to focus on brand elevation and on conversion. So shift your focus from vanity metrics to metrics that matter. That's the second thing you need to do. The third and final thing I think you need to do is just wait it out. Because when I talked to, I think what was her name that I said I spoke with, Evelyn, I mentioned on my post about speaking this on Pinterest, they said it was going to take about eight months to work things out. They just recently went public, the company. They've had lots of public relations, other nightmares, other problems. Those discrimination suit, their COO decided, suing for sexual discrimination. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They had another issue with some property that's shifted. So as a company, it's just going through growing pains. They're trying to figure out what to do. How do they provide ads? So a lot of stuff going on. They have a lot of missing pieces. I think things will come together and they'll settle down. When they settle down, at some point, it's going to make more sense. So you might just have to wait it out. In the meantime, while you're waiting it out, what you can do is clean up your page. There's various different schools of thought as to whether you delete old, underperforming pins, you delete or remove pins that are sort of blocked that go to nowhere. There's different schools of thought. We'll get into that. Other people do your own research, but that's one of the things you can do to clean out your pins. Update and optimize your title, your whole page's description. Also optimize your various different boards. Maybe work on your board covers. Maybe work on rearranging your boards, making some things private, archiving some things. So while you're waiting, make it pretty. So when things shift and get a little bit better and more organized and settled, you'll be ready to hit the ground running. So that's the third thing that you can do while your pin reach is dropping. So I hope those were helpful for you. That's all I have for you today. And again, as I learn from other people or from my own experimentation on what works, what's better, I'm definitely going to share it with you. This video is 11:49 right now. Well, I don't know, I'm going to edit it down, so it might be shorter than that. I'm trying to make it like around 10 minutes. I don't want this to go too long. But anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. It's JJ Gat. Until next time, JJ Gat, thanks. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Talk to you later. Bye.